Hey guys, it's Sharon with Little Britain Company. Welcome to the channel. So today I had this idea and I'm going to work this out with you guys and hope that it works as well as I think it will. What I'm going to make today is a Dear Santa book. Okay, so after a brief break, actually it wasn't brief, it was like 2 days. I'm back to making this really cool Dear Santa book. I'm really excited about these. Anyway, for you all, it was like that. So what I did in the meantime is I went and found some papers that I thought would work well in here. I've decided to give it 10 sections. It's going to be really thick. And I'm not going to use all that paper because I honestly think that that's just going to be too much paper for what this is. So what I have done is I have 10 of these envelopes. I got this, to be fair, I got this at like a yard sale or an estate sale, or maybe I got it at a thrift store. I don't really remember. This Geo paper, seasonal stationery. It was a thrift store. And these are just so cute. I have found lots of different sizes of envelopes that have like really pretty covers to them. But for this one, because I had enough of them, I went ahead, I'm doing 10 sections so that you could include 10 years of letters. And I think it's going to be really pretty having this particular piece coming out. I am probably going to trim this just a little bit so that it doesn't get caught up in when I do the wires, when I put in the spiral. It's not really spiral. But, okay, having said that, now I want to find pocket sections sections and then some pockets to go in between. And then I need something on the inside here. This paper has a lot of pinks in it. So I did grab the Walking in a Winter Wonderland. I haven't even opened this one. Let's open it. Right there. And so we'll see if this has anything. So I really like some of these scenes. It's going to take me a minute to go through all of this, and I will keep you all with me. I want to go with more childlike enthusiasm, so I'm not going to pick something pretty like this. Golly, I hope this has what I'm looking for. This one's nice. And I do need a lot. I need 10 sectional pieces, and then I'll need 3 pocket pieces. So it's going to be 13, and then I need a front and back. So I like that. I like this. This might work well on the inside because of those pinks. That would be cute on the inside. I'm going to grab one sheet of that. That's going to be my inside and back covers. I think I am going to grab one of these. I like that. That's just one. This might have too many flowers. I like this one too. 3. That's very cute. 4. That's just simple. 5. 6. I want to make sure that this works for boys and girls. I'm not being too overly over on one color or the other. I actually do think that one might be able to do 2 pages because it's so different. Because if I do that and then I do that, you've got 2 different scenes there. So that's kind of cute. All right, so let's see what I've got so far. That's going to give me 2, 3, 4, 5. Could I do 2 out of this one? I am. So 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm up to 9. That's exciting. That's 9. This is the front and the back. I'm up to 9. I also still have papers from this set, which is really what I'm supposed to be smashing. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these for the pockets. So I'm going to do one. So I said I wanted to put in 3 pockets. So let me see. And I love the delivery truck, so I think I'm going to do 1, 2. Do I want to do Santa or do I want to do... I'm getting busy in here. Something like that. Okay, so I'm going to do pockets from here, and these are, of course, double-sided, which is great. These are not, and so I'm not going to end up using this one, although it's got a lot of really nice designs in there. I will put that one aside for the moment. You never know, I might need something else from it. Okay, so we have our sections, I think. Did I need one more? I needed one more, don't I? I need one more piece to go in here. Let me see what I have left over. I just don't think they're going to be big enough. To be fair, the sections that go in here, these sections, they don't have to go all the way to the end. You could do them as partials. You could do a half a sheet in there. Just to give it a little bit of separation. So I still have one of these, but it's not quite big enough. So I have that. Does that work with the rest of the theme? I think it kind of does. All right, but this one is double-sided. So, and I might do some other things with these. For right now, it's time to cut. So I'm just going to make myself a quick little reminder, which is that these are all 7, and this is 7 1/4. How big did we make this one? I'm off measuring it to the side. Sorry, guys. So this is, yep, 7 1/4 by 4 and 7/8. Okay. But that's fine for the inside. For this one, for this piece, I need to make it smaller than this piece. So let's take another look at these measurements. I'm measuring against the board. I'm just double checking. This one, yeah. This one is 7 1/4, so I'm going to make it... There we go. That's what it is. So I need to make it smaller than that. So I'm going to make my inside covers. If I do 7, I've got a 1/4 inch here. That's going to be 1/8 of an inch on each side. So I will do 7 by 4. I'm contemplating doing 5/8 or going ahead and doing 4 1/2, which would definitely make it shorter, but we've got plenty of space there. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I do know that's going to make slightly shorter on the ends, but I have a thought. Okay, put that there. Let's get our handy dandy cutter. Let me come out a little bit so you guys can see more of what I'm doing. I'm going to start with this one. So this, why would I do that? So this one's going to be 4 1/2 because that's how deep it needs to be. So I'm just going to go straight to my 4 1/2 and 4 1/2. And then this is going to be 7, so I wasn't going to have a whole lot left on this side anyway. Put that to 7. And I'm going to do 7. Slide that back up there briefly. Left over. And take a look at this one. So, oh, that actually worked out kind of perfectly. So, since it's going to go this way, I do need to make sure that I grab my corner. And do that. And do this. Oh, I like it. I like it. All right, so, oh my word, look how rusty that is already. Luckily, all of this paper is very thick. You're not going to see through it, but I really need to get that changed over. Put this into a new bottle. I do have a new bottle waiting to go, so I think I'm going to use this one up, and then I'm going to switch out to, instead of refilling this one, I'm going to switch out to my new bottle, which actually has its own new tip every once in a while. Or actually, I want to switch to my sweet petunia with my glue gun. I keep forgetting that I've got it sitting here. It's like sitting right there waiting for me to use it. Silly. Silly, silly. All right. Cute. I like it. I like it. All right, so my next one is going to be this one. And, oh, I do love how the Let Heaven and Nature Sing shows up right there. So this is just one of those things to remember. You need to, before you punch your corners, you need to know exactly where your paper is going to be sitting. Sometimes this won't go in unless you you got to kind of set it straight. Okay, so I just realized that corner is not right. The first corner that I did, because I did the other corner, I had realized it wasn't going in. And what's going to be bad here is that now I've got to go in with this wet, and that's terrible, but needs to be right. Okay, and now put this in here. Pull up my sleeves and put my cap back on. So, oh my goodness. This is me trying to put the cap back on. There we go. Woo. All right, so this is looking pretty good. So we have our front and our back. I'm actually going to do it like that. So I know that I'm going to have an envelope inside, but the first thing I'm going to have on each of these is going to be the sheet of paper. So I'm going to have my first cover and so on. So, what do I want? Don't think I want anything quite that busy. I think that actually is nice and simple. When you first open it, you could do the candy canes. Trees? Or this one? Trees. All right, each of the, I'm just being silly. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to not waste my time. I'm going to try not to waste my time. I'm going to grab my cutter and I'm going to go ahead and cut these down to what I need them to be. Now, they need to be, they're going to be this. The paper is this size, the cover is this size, so these all should be this size. 7 1/4 by 4 7/8. So I'm going to leave that in front of me so I do not forget, and I'm going to go ahead and choose my sections. And it just occurred to me, because the sections of trees are going to look slightly different. There are several of these that I could use more than once, and they would not really appear repetitious, but anyway, let me go ahead. I'm going to start by doing my 4 7/8. I'm going to take it from the top. One of the reasons I'm going to do that first is just to make sure that I get my orientation correct. Because this is more of a landscape orientation, I just really need to make sure that I don't mess that up, or it's just going to waste a whole bunch of paper. So my first one is that 4 7/8. So I hope everybody had a great Christmas. This is actually, today is Boxing Day, and we actually will be going out later. We do have a few things to do, a few errands to run this afternoon. I will say my errands that I need to run are not intentionally anything that I'm doing to shop. I've done plenty of shopping. So I'm not feeling a big need. What am I up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know I'm already up to 6. Okay. 7. Let me double check what I've got there. 7. 8. This one's going to be 9. I'll do it this way. Wait. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. That's going to be the last one. 4. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, I'm losing my mind. Try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And I'm going to go back, and I think what I'm going to do with my duplicates, so I have a duplicate of the 2 scenes, because they do give you a different kind of version of the scene. And I think I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I know what I had. I had this as one of them, didn't I? Is it going to be right, though? Ooh, just. Or do I just want to do the trees? I'm going to just keep the trees. I'm going to do this side of the trees and keep those all kind of in the same family of papers. Okay, so this is going to give me 10 of these, and then this needs to be 7 1/4 right here. So one, 2, 3, just like those trees better. 4. It's a lot of cutting. 5. To be fair, this is just my kind of first thoughts about this particular doing this. And so this is the first one that I've made that we're making together. And so I thought it up, and I've been really excited to start to work on it. And yeah, to work on this Dear Santa book. I love the idea of being able to keep your kids, you know, Santa sends back those letters to us so that we can keep them, which is so cool. And we can keep a whole little book of them year by year. Just make another book when your kids start to get older. Okay, so these should fit. Yes. Okay, so that's going to be those 10. Now, I also want to do a pocket. And so I think for the pocket, I'm going to have to fold it up. So it's going to use a good portion of the papers. So I'm going to start by cutting off my bottom edge. This cute little section right here. Because I do keep those. They have, look at that, Santa's Christmas delivery. I love those little things. So I'm going to do that first. And then the next thing I need to do is I'm going to be folding these. I'm going to be folding it this way. So I am going to, I didn't get that whole little section right there. To give me, to leave the most paper behind, I'm going to start by doing the 4 7/8. That will leave me the biggest piece. Now I got to think. This is going to be 4 7/8, but I have to double it. So it's actually going to be 8, 9, 9 6/8, so 9 3/4. Let me fix that on here before I cut incorrectly. So this will still be 7 1/4 across, but it's going to be 9 3/4. So it's going to be 9 3/4. Yep, it's going to be 7 1/4 this way. And then this way it'll be 9 3/4 because we're going to fold it in half. Oh my word. Okay, I am so glad I did not cut. I was so close. So close. All right, let me do this real quick. And again, I really want to salvage as much, the biggest chunk of paper that I can. Okay, so this does not go all the way over to 9 3/4. So I'm going to have to measure that out first on here. And then I can cut. And I do want to make sure, yeah, I'm going to put it right into a corner just to make sure that I have it straight on all of the edges, that I can make it straight. And I will tell you, paper's not always straight. We do our best. But just like with material, paper does not always come to us exactly straight. All right. 9 3/4 is going to be right there. Just gonna use my pencil. So I know I'm folding it up, so it doesn't matter that I've got the piece like this. We'll do this one. Okay. Should be perfect. Okay, so then it just gets folded in half. Just do it on here. So I'm just going to fold it in half. You can certainly score it. And let me make sure. Perfect. So this is going to get, I'm going to go ahead right away and I'm going to have to go back and corner all those other ones. I know this is going to be the position. I'm going to do this, get that out of the way. I'm actually going to fix it in a minute. I can see there's like the littlest sliver right there. Just there. Let's score that again. Score. Let's go ahead and punch that again. Make sure that we've got this right where we need it. There we go. All right. Cute. So that will go in here. Oh yeah. And that will be one of my first pockets. So I'm only going to get 3. Now I am going to go ahead and do this, which is really the thumb. And I'm just gonna eyeball it, guys. I'm just gonna eyeball it from there to there. Perfect. And if it's not perfect, that's okay too. Cute. Okay, so I only need to glue on this side. So I'm only going to glue right through here. And yes, so this back side's going to be upside down. And I'm okay with that. You could do it. You could certainly pick papers that are not, that don't have, this kind of directionality. You could cut these in half and then glue the two together and then actually make them so that they're both the right side up. But I kind of think it's okay. And I think that you'd be putting a picture back here anyway. So I'm good with that one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my other 2 sheets that I decided to use. And so let's go ahead and finish these up. I'm gonna do my quick, get rid of this bottom section. And this bottom section. Goodness. Okay, and then I have to remember that I'm cutting it this way, so 7 1/4. Let me put my thing back up here. Because this one has the directionality. So 7 1/4. This is so cute. I love this paper. And I have an idea of what I'm going to do with it. Next. Okay, and then this one's going to be 7 1/4. And let me go ahead and measure my 9. 9 3/4. Again, I'm going to just bring it into the corner so it's nice and lined up. I'm actually lining it up on this side, which you can kind of see, and on the other side, which you may not be able to see. And 9 3/4. Get that lined up properly. Nine 3/4. Causing me all sorts of headaches. Okay, there's that one, and this one, and move it up so you guys can see it better. Now, there are certainly some boards that can do a full 12 by 12, and I really should get myself one. One of the, I really like the guillotine. Out of all of the different cutters, and I have other cutters who can do this, but my favorite is my guillotine, so there we go. I'm trying really hard to put my tools back right away so I don't end up having them covering my table, which is often what I do. There we go. What's funny is that this little book is going to take up a good portion of these, of the paper from this pack, from the special delivery pack. So I'm going to be pretty close to smashing a pack. But I do have a plan for what's left. I'm going to come over just a smidge because there we go. That is so funny when that's all you need. All right, put that one aside. And let's get this one. And let me make sure I got that one right because that looks... I thought I was off a little bit on that side. Let me just make sure. Okay. All right. We are closing in on some of our cutting needs. There we go. All right. And this one, lovely as it is, does not have an orientation. I do think I'm going to go with the red, the white snowflakes. White on red snowflakes. They're not red snowflakes. Perfect. Okay, we're about to get some serious use out of that, but so I'm going to go ahead and get my, kind of eyeball my little sections here, my little thumbprint sections, and handmade means not perfect, right? Well, that's not true. There are plenty of people out there doing amazing, perfect work, and it is all handmade. I should say my handmade. Handmade means not perfect. But the truth is, honestly, guys, I'm going to say this. There are very few people who would recognize if something that you do when you're doing these kinds of things, when we're doing this handmade, there are so few people who would say, oh, wait, that's not exactly right. Or who could recognize that. I mean, We as humans are so hard on ourselves. It's really quite something, isn't it? I don't know why we're so hard on ourselves, but we are. We really are. It's funny, kind of. It's one of those ha ha, ha ha ha, like this. I mean, I could angst over the fact that it's not, that this side's going to be upside down, but I actually think it's going to be fine. I think, you know, when you turn the page, yes, this is upside down, but once you put a picture on it, it's just not going to be a big deal to me. Now, I might try to do my next ones with, I got to get this top back on. I got to undo I might try to do the next ones and make sure that I only have non-directional. Look at that there, rust on my hands. Gracious. Okay. I have these three now. Before I can finish putting this together, it's gonna be big. It's going to be thick. I need to go ahead and cut these down, and not cut them down, corner them. All right, so I want you to see that. That corner did not go. If you don't seat this exactly right, you will definitely come out with a funky corner. So just make sure when you're doing your corners that you get them in there and you seat them fully in against both sides. So, I wonder if I can do two. No, I don't like doing two at a time. I have made some mistakes that way. Let's just, slow and steady, right? Slow and steady wins the race. Again, that one's not quite right. Why is it not? And every once in a while, I do that. What I just did, I'll flip it over. If I've tried and for some reason it's just not doing what I need it to do, or it's not sitting properly, seating properly, I'm just going to turn it over and see if that fixes the issue. And I will say 99.9% of the time, it does. Why does it? I really don't know. I mean, there are times when it's coming out wrong, I can see that I'm seating it properly. It's still coming out wrong. I turn it upside down, seat it again, and it's perfectly fine. So I'm going pretty fast, and I would say, you might want to make sure when you're trying to go quickly that, do that one again. Yeah, there we go. That these papers are, I've already put them in some kind of an order. They're not exactly how I want them to be, but I know that their position is correct. So right side up, upside down. All right, we're actually almost done. I feel like this has gone pretty quickly. Now I just have to figure out, I like this against that. I like how it kind of sets it off a little bit, but I also really, really love this idea. So I think I'm going to do this one first. Or am I going to do that one last? Now I have to think. All right, I'm going to do that one last. I'll go ahead and do this one first. It's what I was thinking about. So I'm going to do that, followed by this cute little one, followed by the envelope. My word. Followed by 5 sheets of paper. 2, 5. That's going to be my sandwich. But I only have 3 of the pockets. So I want to do a pocket I'm going to do 3 sections, then a pocket, then I'm going to do 4 sections, then pocket, 3 sections, pocket, 4 sections, pocket, 3 sections. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Okay, so I've got some busy stuff going on here. I'm going to try to put these in order so I know that I want that one to be last. But I do want to, I'm going to just go ahead and do a little bit here. Just to make sure that I don't put too much. Yep, that's going to be, that would be 1, 2, 3. And then this is going to be its pocket. And then this one was, I've already got a green, and then I got that red. So that's 2. That'll be 2. That's a scene, so I have 1, 2, 3 scene, and then truck. I've got trees. 1, 2, 3. Those are the 4 in the middle. What have I got here? I've got too many scenes. Urgh. Okay, so I'm trying to switch off. Give me a minute, I'll see if I can get this together. I think I figured it out. Okay. So here's what it's going to be. You open it up and you have the beautiful trees and the ho-ho-hos. Then you have your first pocket, followed by your first envelope. In the other ones, the pocket... Should I do it like that? Because in the other ones, the pocket... Okay, it's going to go like that. Pocket, page, envelope, pages. 5 sheets. Because you just can't do too many. And then I have my next one. And then I have my pages. And then... And I am leaving those, these are single-sided, most of them. But that means you've got a place to draw. You could include something else. These envelopes are a decent size, so if you have a child's drawing, you could put that inside. You could certainly get bigger envelopes that cover the entire section. And I don't know if I mentioned this. So my thought would be that on these pages, one thing that I'm going to write, because I'm going to make one for little Brit. I might try to make one for my other children, but remembering back that far, I can write down, in the envelope is their letter to Santa, but then I can add what they actually received. Why do I have... Am I missing an envelope, or do I have too many sections? Let me see what I did here. You can see how big this is now getting once the envelopes are in. So it's a decent size. So I'm going to go back through, make sure I have, that's 1 envelope, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's the one, 8, 9, and that's what I did. I did that accidentally. Okay. Woo. All right. We are about ready to start putting it together because this is going to be really thick. Now, I'm going to use a 1-inch cinch wire on here because I think that anything smaller, it'll just become an alligator mouth. And that's okay. I actually don't mind it myself. But I do want it to become bigger, and you're going to be adding things to it. So, and this is all the paper we have left, and absolutely I will use this in something else, because paper. So that is, so I ended up with 3 sections, 10 envelopes. This is what I ended up with. I'll do it on this side. We ended up doing 3 pockets, 10 dividers, 10 envelopes, and 5 times 10 papers. So 5 in each section. Just if you want to know, this is for me always about, do I have the supplies and can I pull them and be prepared for it? And then I'm going to go ahead and pull. Oh my goodness. Now comes the fun part. And I have this is only 3/4 inches. Shooba dooba. Do I have a 1 inch? That is not big enough, I don't think. Will it be? Oh yeah, that's plenty. So I'm pretty sure this is a 1 inch. If I can get it separated from the other one. And let's see, the gold or the rose gold? I'll use gold. Yeah, so this is a 1 inch. And luckily I had that piece sitting right here, although I do have my 1 inches. They're in the other room. Now comes the fun part. Working this out. Now, this is just not something that I enjoy figuring out. So I like to just take a piece of paper that's the same size. And this one is approximately the same size as all of it. So I'm going to go ahead. This is just how I do it to make it quicker. You can work the numbers. I don't want to. I just don't want to right now. And there are even guidelines available for you to look at. But what I like to do is I just like to find a piece of paper, same size. To me, this is the quickest, easiest. I just pulled a pencil out and it went flying. Now I'm going to do this along that inside. Can you see what I'm doing? And why? Why, you might ask, am I doing that? Because when I flatten this out, I want to find the center. I'm going to line it up on the center, and I'm going to pull off my old washi tape that I have here, because this is another little trick that I like to do. I can get it all up. I got it. Most washi tape comes right up, but every once in a while you got one that does not, which is really kind of funny. Wow. All right. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, here we go. So I am just looking at this. I know I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What if I just do 6? So I can do an odd number, but I'm just trying to think it through. If I just do 6, all right, I'm kind of liking the way the 7 ends up, which means I've got to line this up off the center. I'm going to line it up so that it is pretty much, can you kind of see? I think I was better off this way. Maybe I can get down in here. Haha! Like that for a minute. So, although you still can't probably see, I'm lining it up underneath that 6. Or at least I'm trying to. And the goal here is to mean that if I'm using 7, that should be kind of the center, where the center one goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I actually think the 7 is perfect. I'm going to pull that back out again, but otherwise I'm going to take the whole camera out when I come down on this. So my first step is, before I do anything, I'm going to grab a little bit of washi and put it in place, because if this is perfect, I don't want to have to keep remeasuring it. If it's not perfect, I can pull the washi off and try again. So I'm just going to get a little bit of washi tape here. And I'm actually going to pull that out, because it's not going to go where I want it to go. Let's do that. You know what? I'm being dumb. I'm going to pull this out so that that lines up to where I want it to be. All right. That should be right. And that's pretty darn close. So if I line it up like that, I think that's about right. Okay. I think we got it, by George. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up to that piece. That should be exactly where I need to be. And say a little prayer. That is my front. That's my back. First, I always want to make sure that they've lined up, and they have, which is always good. Okay, now I'm going to put that guy down. I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to start from the back. Luckily, pretty much all of these are about the same size. So I'm going to do this. Line it up. And one. Now, my envelope is not the same. So I'm going to try to figure my envelope one out. Oh yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm kind of eyeballing it down to down a half of an inch. That might be even a little bit more, but I think that's not bad. Okay, that also tells me kind of where I need to cut. And I'm just going to do a really quick cut for each one of these. I can maintain most of the envelope. It is still going to fully function and open. Maybe not well. I should have thought about that. Huh, Sharon? Huh? So I'm going to go up just a wee bit. This is the one thing I didn't deal with beforehand. And sometimes, I will say, if I'm doing envelopes, which I do sometimes, there, and there. All right, so that's kind of perfect. I'm going to keep that little sheet. It's going to help me make sure that I get the rest of it correct. For this one, I grabbed that. So line it up, and here we go. And this one cut from right about there. And there. And I'm lining that up to that 1/2 inch. Okay. So again, it is Christmas Day. Oh, it's not. It is the day after Christmas. Christmas Day. Little Brit and I stayed up yesterday and we watched Stranger Things, the newest episodes, some of the last episodes. I am so impressed at how the Duffer Brothers, who have done the Stranger Things, how they've handled certain situations within the story. I really am just quite impressed. I really hope I'm doing this right, because I just realized I need to double check these and make sure. Okay, thank goodness. It's just very impressive. What they've done, how they've done it, how they've handled some relationship issues, how they've explained some of the relationship issues, how they've dealt with a bunch of the different relationship issues. I'm just really, really impressed with how they've done that. I'm so sorry for the shaky camera. You know, it really takes a great storyteller to, I think, to get us where we are right now. And so anyway, that's fun. I don't know if you're following some of my Stranger Things. I've got a junk journal started, and today I have to go find something that I need to finish the cover. Was that mysterious enough? But I do need to finish the cover, and I know exactly what I want to do for the, I'm using some material on the outside, so I know just what I'm going to do with that. I sound like the Grinch, don't I? I know just what to do. I am not making a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. Right, that one kind of went askew, but that's okay. So there's so many things you could do. I'm going to go back to what we're working on right now. So many different things you could do with this book. But I just kind of, I was thinking about our children and the wonderful list that they send to Santa every year. And oh, I wonder if you could see that. Have I been out of frame? See, that's why I am not making big butts, big bucks, making Stranger Things videos. I need to still remember to stay in frame. I forget where I was. Oh yeah, so our children sent, and of course Santa sends us back the letters once he's fulfilled requests. And what can we do with those letters to help, as parents? Oh, wonderful memory. And honestly, how cool would this be to pass on to our children when they have children of their own? I just think that would be kind of super cool to kind of pass on and compare, This year would be very interesting because Stranger Things is so popular. A lot of kids, I know they brought back Cabbage Patch, and they brought back Light Bright, and they brought back other 80s toys, 80s and early 90s. And how cool if something, you know, we asked for back in the day ended up on our children's lists now or in the future. Just how cool is that? To me, it's cool. I might be weird. I can totally accept that. Without a problem. And again, I'm so sorry. I know that the camera shakes. We still haven't gotten in the new piece to move it back, which is the plan, to move it to a more stable section. Right now, it actually, the arm attaches to the table, so every time I do something like this, the table shakes and the arm shakes, and it's not great. But, and I think that the relationship between, if you don't watch Stranger Things, I know that you know, you can probably just, by what I'm saying, kind of follow along a little bit of it. But there's a character played by Winona Ryder, and her name is Joyce Byers in the show, and her relationship and her attempt to, in particular, to shield her youngest son, to make him safe from any takers, from anyone who would hurt him. I certainly, you know, if you're a parent, you've probably been through that, trying to protect your children in particular, or even if they're just family or friends, people that you love. We're always trying to protect them, right? Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but look. All right, so let me get rid of this stuff. Ooh. And we're going to put these on. That one goes that way, and of course your back goes inside up. I did that wrong once, and I was not a happy camper that I did it wrong, but I did it wrong once. Such is life. Oh, okay, so let me not mess this up. Now I am going to turn this. You push down and you turn to get to my 1 inch. And I will tell you, I like to be just below the 1 inch, just below whatever I'm doing. Now, when I put it in, this right here, they have to be flat against the back. If they are not flat against the back, then you're not going to get a nice round ending here. I'm going to press that down, just move one tiny step further. And yeah, I just wanted that to go in a little bit more for me. So, let's go. Let's do this. And this. And it is done. And right now, the 1 inch was, I think, a really good choice. So let me take you on a little tour of what we just made. This would be, I mean, imagine if you have more than one child, you can make one for each child. So you open it up and you go straight to your pocket where you can include anything. Then you have places where you can put pictures. You have a divider, more pictures, letters from Santa go inside, information, notes, what you did for the season. And then that just kind of continues. 5 sheets of paper in between each, because it's just a little bit. And then you get to your next sections and pocket. So you've got 3 sections, then a pocket. Then you're going to go through 4 sections. And you can have your kids draw on the back of that. So you end up with 4 sections. and with each one with its own envelope too. So this covers, there are 10 pockets. This covers 10 years. Imagine going back from infant to the age of 10 and being able to see all the different things and how your purchasing has changed. You could definitely make this bigger. You could use a different kind of a spine. I do think these go much higher. I just don't have anything bigger than a 1-inch. So you've got your sections. Originally there's your pockets. Originally I was really planning on putting 21 sections in, and then realized I just don't have a big enough cinch. But you also could use the rings. They're actually called book rings. Those little rings that hook in. You could use rings instead, maybe 4 or 5 rings to go along, because those things go very big. But originally I was thinking how fun it would be to do 21 sections and to be able to go back to your child's infant Christmas and then have them reach 21 and the different things and where we are. And then for this one, this was my last section. I just thought this was so cute and appropriate with Santa. And then we're at the end. So that is, let me go this way. This is a Dear Santa book. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it is something that you might want to consider making for your own children. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I will see you all next time. Cheers.